Hi, I'm Miss Powell. I'm the English teacher at this campus, and I just wanted to share a lesson with you, very similar to the one that we started last week. We're working with writing an essay. Last week we saw how to write the thesis statement and why a good, strong thesis statement is so important. Okay, this week we're going to focus on the entire essay and how we write a strong, coherent, complete essay. Let me remind you, if you were virtual, if you were in person, by completing the activities, writing the essay, completing the formative assessment, um, you'll see them in Google Classroom. If you are on campus, you'll have the handouts that you can work with. This will be worth unit activities, test grades, and Edmentum. So it's very important that we're able to write a good essay, a strong essay, because as we know, that's a third of our STAR test, both in English 1 and English 2. So it's important that we, as students, can write a very coherent essay. Let's see how that's done. Let's go ahead and share a lesson and share the screen with you. Let's see what we need to do to write a coherent essay. Drop the bottle. Organizing an essay. And we know that we're able to write coherent thesis statements, but let's take it farther. Let's write a coherent essay. Yeah, organizing the essay. Introduction, conclusion, and in the center are the body paragraphs. Okay, I guess an essay is that funny, especially as we saw in the video last week, the zombies. It can be if we feel comfortable and if it is easy to write, and it can be easy. An essay is a piece of writing that usually has 5 or more paragraphs. An essay is written about one topic that has several main points. The main points are introduced in an introductory paragraph and supported in body paragraphs. The conclusion is the last paragraph. Well, I let you see essay and body paragraphs first in our example because many times that's all that a student puts together. A few topic sentences, and it almost sounds like it's rambling. The introduction gives us the thesis statement. It kind of guides how this essay will be written. Um, the conclusion gives us closure. It kind of ties the whole thing up, um, puts it together to where thesis is introduced in the essay, guiding the essay. The thesis is stated again in the conclusion, always giving the reader the idea of what this essay is going to be about, what the main focus in the essay is. What is an essay? Why are they so hard to write? Well, it's obvious that this student is not very eager about writing his essay. As you watch the video, I want you to think about yourself. Have you ever faced this kind of mental block? I just don't want to do this. I can't do this. Uh, don't want to write this essay. Yeah, he looks eager enough. Getting ready. Let's take a selfie. Yeah, let's watch a little video first. That'll get us in the mood. You gotta think now. It's hard work. You need something to eat. Let's swallow a bottle of chocolate syrup and wash it down with some juice. Yeah, now we're ready. Beat yourself on the head a little bit. Take off your hat and scratch your head. That'll help. Disappear. Take a nap. Now he's ready to write. Check your messages. Take a nap.
Yeah. Screw it, I'll just do tomorrow.
How many of us are like that student? Best intentions. He thinks he's ready to write. The essay is due tomorrow. And yet, oh gosh, there's so much. This is too much. So much I'd rather do than write an essay. And we get the impression that he's put this thing off and put this thing off and would really, really, really appreciate it if there were an easier way to write an essay. And perhaps he doesn't know the mechanics, doesn't know the outline. Well, we saw the outline last week. Introduction that contains the thesis statement, support paragraphs, and then the conclusion. But what is contained in each one of these? Well, let's look at the parts of an essay. In an introduction, an introductory paragraph is the first paragraph in an essay. It contains two parts. One is the attention getter, a few sentences about your subject that catch the attention of the reader. This may be a statement, or it may be a question. Have you ever wondered how many thousands of cells are in your body? Have you ever imagined how many stars there are in the sky? Okay, something that would draw your reader's attention and cause him to want to read your essay. Very broad. Then we move down to the thesis statement, what our essay is about. Your body is an incredible machine made up of cells, tissue, organs. Okay, so a thesis statement is one sentence that tells your reader the main points of your topic and states the overall plan of your essay. Introduction. Metropolitan City is full of charm and scenic beauty, so visitors from around the world come to enjoy its famous theaters, museums, countless ethnic restaurants, and scenic wonders. Okay, immediately we're interested in Metropolitan City. It sounds so beautiful. Although Metropolitan City seems like a paradise, it isn't. The city has several serious problems: poor public transportation, congested streets, and expensive housing. Okay, so we've moved down to our thesis statement. Our thesis statement is not about the paradise that Metropolitan City seems to be. It's about the fact that it has problems, and these are the problems we're going to discuss here.
Yeah!
Yeah, parts of an essay. Body paragraphs. The body paragraph consists of one or more paragraphs following the introduction. Each paragraph supports the main idea of your essay by breaking it down into smaller ideas or subtopics. Each body paragraph consists of a topic sentence and several supporting sentences. A conclusion sentence draws the paragraph together. Okay, so of course we've got our introduction, we've got our thesis statement, but we have to have something to support that thesis. That's our body paragraphs. That's our support paragraphs. Each a paragraph on its own, a topic sentence, but each dealing with the specifics of that thesis statement. Each supporting that thesis and each many times mentioned either in the introduction or in the thesis itself. Here's an example of a body paragraph. The first and most important problem in metropolitan cities, inadequate public transportation system. Thousands of residents rely on the city's buses and streetcars to travel throughout the large city. But metro transportation systems, daily schedules are totally unreliable. A bus or streetcar that should arrive at 7:45 may not arrive until 8 or later. Moreover, it's not unusual for a bus driver to pass up groups of people waiting for the bus because he wants to make up for lost time. Unfortunately, people often end up going to work late or missing important appointments. In order for people to get to their destinations on time, people must allow for waiting time at the bus and streetcar stops. Okay, notice that topic sentence. The first and most important problem is public transportation. Notice how that was mentioned in the thesis. And then the writer goes on to support that idea by describing people who are dependent on this, but it's not a reliable schedule and may end up late for very important things. And then a good conclusion, a good concluding sentence there. People need to get to their destination on time. They can't end up having to take an earlier bus because they don't know when the bus is going to arrive. Conclusion. And conclusion, very similar to the introduction, and like the introduction, one of the most important paragraphs. The conclusion is the last paragraph in the essay. It completes the essay by summarizing or repeating the most important ideas. The conclusion can also include an opinion, a prediction, or a solution to a problem, and should always contain the thesis statement so that once again, we get back to the idea that in this case, metropolitan city has a lot of problems or has several problems that we have mentioned, to once again put forth that main argument or that main idea of that essay. Example conclusion. In conclusion, metropolitan city must improve its public transit system. Yes, and the thesis is implied here. Clear up the massive traffic jams caused by slow-moving traffic in downtown areas and keep rentals down to affordable levels. In other words, metropolitan must improve its image, or it will soon become just another mediocre city due to the lack of administrative responsibility to solve these unfortunate problems. Case summarizes, basically summarizes the thesis. as it was argued throughout the essay. It's got problems. It needs to solve these problems. Then makes a very clear prediction. Um, if you don't do something about these problems, administration, um, this city is going to lose its status. It's going to lose its idea of all but a paradise. You've done a lot that is good in this city, but it needs a lot more work. So, yes, all but summarizes the essay. Overview of the essay. And once again, we want something more than just a bunch of body paragraphs, just a bunch of ideas. The body paragraphs need to be driven by a clear introduction with a general statement and information about the topic. And most important, we move down to that thesis statement. Then our support paragraph that support the main ideas of the thesis statement and begin with topic sentences. And our conclusion that summarizes main points of the essay. So, in other words, starts out very specific with that thesis or that main idea here, and then moves down to a broader, maybe a prediction, maybe kind of an evaluation of what we've discovered in the essay. So, in conclusion, writing an essay does not have to be a difficult thing. We need to organize the essay well. We need a clear thesis statement and focus on strong support arguments. We need a solid conclusion that will remind the reader of the impact of our arguments and our thesis statement. Let's see if you can write an essay using what we've learned so far. Write a 5-paragraph essay on the following STAR prompt. Okay, so it's clear. We have an assignment here. We have something that we're going to be asked to do on the STAR test that we're asked to do today. Write a 5-paragraph essay using what we've learned so far on a STAR prompt. So let's see what that would be. The STAR prompt. And this is what your STAR prompt looks like. It begins with a quotation. If you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it, go through it, or work around it. Okay, I love the fact that they used a sports figure to emphasize the prompt that we're moving down to. But this is not an essay about jumping over a wall or getting over a wall, but this is something to inspire us. Think about this following statement. No one can achieve success without overcoming obstacles. Now we have our prompt. We see the word write. That is our prompt. Write an essay explaining the importance of never giving up. Okay, so we want in our thesis statement to address the prompt. It is important to never give up in this life because you may have missed out on great opportunities and lowered your possibilities in life by giving up too soon or becoming a victim of low confidence. Okay. And we can even use a quote to begin. The one by Michael Jordan is fine. And then describe a little bit more about what we're going to mention in our essay about not giving up, and then move down to our thesis statement. So, 5-paragraph thesis statement, introduction, 3 support paragraphs, conclusion. Okay, I think we saw today that an essay does not have to be as difficult to write as the student was making it in the video. But we have to have a plan, and we have to know how we want to organize that essay. I think that if we keep that outline, that plan in mind, the essay itself will become easier and easier. Thank you for letting me take this time to discuss how we organize an essay and what we need to do to address a prompt and organize an essay rather than as our young man did in the video, becoming so overwhelmed by it that we have to give up. So thank you for letting me take this time, and let's write a strong essay about not giving up like our young student in the video.